And I think there wasn't even a 3, 2, 1 on that. We are live, coming to you from Vermont. Hi, my name is Karen, Salt and Sand Studios here. Welcome to Yoga Intermissions on, today is Saturday, the 6th of October, a lovely crisp day here in Vermont. If someone could just give me a little holler that they can see and hear me, that would be great. I'm going to lean forward to my computer and are good. Thank you for the sunflower. It is lovely. We're going to go ahead and get started with a gentle flow today. Seems like autumn feels like a gentle flow time. So find a comfortable seat. That might mean sitting on some sort of prop or blanket, which is also a prop. We're going to take the Bhu Mudra, B-H-U. Perhaps I'm not quite pronouncing it correctly, but it's grounding mudra, intended to help us activate the root chakra, that which connects us with the earth, material things, and perhaps find a little bit of slowing of any or reducing of any blood pressure and a bit of a slowing of the breath. We're going to take our hands. Hi. We're going to create peace fingers with both hands. It don't have to be super wide or super narrow. Curl the ring finger and the pinky finger down toward the palm of the hand. You're going to allow the thumb to kind of just say hello to them with a little touch. Now, depending on where you're sitting and what you're sitting on, you can bring the arms long to and the fingertips to the earth, or maybe if that doesn't work for you, you can bring the fingertips to your thighs. I would recommend, however, that you don't have the whole hand on the thighs, just the fingertips. Give yourself a moment to feel what it feels like to be in this shape. Knowing that the whole body works together to find a little bit of stability. You might also take an inventory of the body to see where you could effort less. One of the tenets of yoga: right thought, right words, right actions, right effort. Right effort doesn't always mean working hard across every single muscle and ligament and tendon of the body. Here we allow the belly to activate a little bit. It helps draw the tailbone down. We think about extending the spine, and maybe you just notice, you check in with proprioception to see if the shoulders are stacked over the hips. The chin tucks a little bit, and maybe it feels sort of like you're bringing the back of the head to the headrest in your car, if you have a car, or your work chair, desk chair, if you have one of those. The breath begins to deepen. And we slow it down. Maybe even notice the spaces between the inhales and exhales and the exhales and inhales. Breath, a combination of active and passive. Now maybe focus on the tailbone, the sitting bones, the ankles, noticing the connection with the earth. And in that connection, perhaps welcoming the support of the earth and the abundance it shares. We'll bring to bear our Ujjayi breath, the breath of a little constriction at the back of the throat. Allows the breath to sound a little bit like an ocean wave, or maybe like you're sort of fogging a mirror with your breath. Take a big, huge breath in like you're breathing in from the sitting bones all the way to the top of the head. And gently release all of it out the nose. Keeping your hands in the gesture as they are, the Bhu Mudra, you're going to lift the arms out to the sides of the body. And see if that helps you extend the spine a little bit. Reach the shoulder blades away from one another and imagine that your fingertips could touch something beautiful. Maybe a flower petal. Keeping the mudra, Bhu Mudra, will draw the hands in front of us with the palms facing one another. It might feel a little bit like a disco dance, but I promise you it is not. As you inhale, the arms reach up overhead, the fingers release there, maybe a little twinkling of the fingers toward the sky. Next breath out, hands find their home together at your heart. Perhaps with the idea of grounding or abundance or support. You bring to mind an intention or motivation for this next 45-ish minutes on your mat, where we will move gently. We'll allow the mind and the body to move freely. Focus on the breath, being grounded and kind to ourselves. We'll celebrate the intention as if we could sort of spread it like confetti all around the floor, floating in the air around us as support for the practice today. We'll do that with a chant of Om. It's your choice if you'd like to hum it or maybe use a silent Om, imagining the Om rides on the out breath, or perhaps a full chant, which I will share. Deep full breath in through the nose. You remain where you are. I'm going to shift a little bit so I'm facing the front of my mat. Nice to have you all here. I see a couple other faces. Excellent. We're going to remain in a seat to start. So I'm going to just move my little bolster slightly. And if sitting with your legs crossed in Sukhasana, easy pose, is too much for you, you're always welcome to extend the legs and put the soles of the feet on the mat, or maybe place something underneath your knees. It helps the gentle be even more gentle, like so. If your legs are crossed in their sort of habitual crossing shape, you're going to uncross and cross them the other way. Sometimes our hips start to get a little too used to what we're doing, and we start to shift things a little bit. We're going to drop the chin toward the chest. The hands are on the thighs, the palms face down. As if the chin and head are the pendulum in a grandfather clock, you're going to move the chin toward the right. Start to create these half circles. Breathe out, chin drops to the center. Breathe in, chin up toward the left. Exhale, chin toward the heart. Inhale, chin up toward the right. One more round, chin drops down. Exhale. Inhale, chin up, left. Exhale, chin down. Lift the chin so it's parallel to the earth, a breath in, a breath out. Turn your head over to the right. Breathe in. Exhale, turn the head maybe just a tiny bit more. One more round, keeping the belly a little bit active. Breathe in. Exhale, a little twist. Chin drops toward the right armpit, and the right arm reaches behind the head, and the palm lands on the occipital ridge. That's where the fingers are. It's as if you're cupping your melon man. Drop the head without pushing it down. Maybe the left hand can get a little magical onto the left side of the neck, the left shoulder. I recognize it's not the same as if I was assisting you, but imagine that the hand is not yours. It's the hand of someone else who loves you. Finding a little bit of opening all along the left side of the neck and the trap especially. Right hand releases downward to the thigh, chin drops, left hand releases, inhale, chin parallel to the earth. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears on a breath in. Press the shoulders behind you and down, breath out. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist to the left. You're turning the head and the neck, breathe in. Rinse it out, a little more twist. And one more round, long breath in. Twist, breath out. Nose drops toward the armpit, left arm reaches up so that the hand can come behind the head and simply rest there, helping gravity do its work. And that wonderful right hand now finds a little opportunity to massage out the right trap, right side of the neck, maybe even up behind your right ear. Right hand releases to the mat, the thigh, left hand releases to the thigh, breath in. Exhale, chin drops. Inhale, chin lifts. Oh, what a nice start. I'm going to reach the arms forward, nice and long. Fingers wide. Lock them back into your shoulders. Super long in the spine. On an inhale, lift the arms to the sky. Exhale, right hand drops by your right side. Press the floor away and lengthen the space between the bony hips and the side ribs. Exhale, tilt over to the right. You're welcome to have your left arm as long and straight as feels okay for you. My arm doesn't do that at this moment. I'm allowing it to do what it can. Heart reaches for the sky. Maybe the gaze lifts up. Maybe not all the way up, or maybe all the way up to the thumb. Inhale, rise up, both arms high. Exhale, left hand down to the mat. We breathe in to get tall, both sides of the body, actually all four sides of the body, front, back, side to side. Exhale, tilt to the left. As you inhale, gather the belly in, arms reach high once more. Exhale, arms in a cactus shape. Here we check in. Without looking at the elbows, imagine they could get wider in space. And you grow the space between the shoulder blades and the rib cage underneath them. Breathe in. As you exhale, a twist over the right shoulder, left hand on the right thigh, right hand behind you. Take a long breath in. We won't twist too far. And we use the belly to help the twist rather than twisting from the hips or the shoulders. Big breath in. Exhale, twist. Another breath in. And twist. Inhale, swing slowly through center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, draw through center. We have found our way into 4 of the 6 directions of the spine. We're now going to find our way into a child's pose, which gives us the 5th, which is extending the spine and finding a little length there. Child's pose, you come face down, knees nice and wide, big toes touch. Sitting bones come toward the heels, and your head rests on something. So maybe that is a cushion, maybe it's a block, maybe it's a blanket, maybe it's your hands. If, like my shoulders, yours don't quite work as they did maybe a year ago, you might bend your elbows out to the side of the mat to stack the hands and bring the forehead to the back of the hand. Oh yeah, breath into the sacrum. What a beautiful sensation. allowing us in this wonderful posture of balasana to continue to root into the earth, to absorb some of its beautiful autumnal energy, and allow the body and mind calm. Imagine the breath could spread the sacrum like cream cheese on a bagel. We'll place the palms onto the earth and bring the elbows underneath the shoulders in this sort of modified child's pose. And then we're going to walk the forearms forward so we come to kneeling on the knees as opposed to kneeling on something else. The knees now come hips distance and the feet are as wide as the knees. If you had to shift off your forearms to make all that happen, not a problem. Return to them. Palms on the earth, fingers nice and wide. And here we'll find some cat-cow shapes in a sort of a forearm tabletop move. Each breath out, the spine rounds, the belly scoops, tailbone tucks each breath in, the spine arches with the hips and the gaze working upward. So it's a fairly shallow shift. Say that 10 times fast. Shallow shift, shallow shift, shallow fish. Press the floor away, round the spine, breath out. One more time, inhale for the cow shape, sort of. Now we find a neutral spine. So you're a little rounded between the shoulders and the tailbone tucks down as the belly draws toward the spine. Come onto your palms. Bring your knees together and shift onto the heels with the sitting bones. So we have now taken all of the movements of the spine, but we're going to continue with a little bit of a deeper cat-cow movement from this posture. The heels of the hands come to the hip creases. As we breathe out, it's sort of this little massage of the heels of the hands forward toward the knees, scoop the navel in toward the spine and up, round the spine, drop the head. So same shape, idea, different starting point. Inhale, heels of the hands come toward the hip creases. We find the cat shape here. You might even lift the chin a little bit if that feels good. Exhale, massaging the quads, heels of the hands down toward the knees. Round, 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 round. Round cat, Halloween shape, black cat, pumpkin. Inhale. I don't know what Halloween shape this is. Maybe it's a witch flying on her broom, free, free, free with her heart. Exhale for the cat shape. Inhale for the cow. I'm going to find a neutral spine and check in with the shoulders, see what they're doing. If they're up around your ears like earrings, you already look festive enough, you don't need them. So our little warm up, we're now going to move into a full tabletop and warm up the core a little bit more, reaching the right leg long off the mat. Heel reaches, 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 then point the toes toward the back of the mat. And start to feel the difference between pointed toes and the toes drawn toward the earth. And take a few movements pointing the toes away from you and then toward you. And we'll land with the toes pointing toward you and the heel reaching behind. You might stay here. This might be plenty of balance for you. Or with the belly really drawing in and up and the hips squaring to the mat, inhale the left arm forward off the mat. I'm just going to hang out here for a couple breaths. Sometimes as the weather gets a little cooler, air finds its way into the pockets in your ankles, your knees, your wrists, and your hips, and you hear a little popping. That's quite normal. On an exhale, the knee and the elbow come together, or the knee and the nose draw together. Inhale, extend. Exhale, the knee and the hand to the mat. Find some hip circles, allowing the hips to circle in one direction. It's hard to get the hips to circle into two directions simultaneously. But we'll find a little slow movement, slow flow. Drop your head. See how that feels on the neck. And then take that in the opposite direction. Noticing any difference here. You might notice a difference in the low back. Maybe one of the knees feels a little different in this direction. And one more round. Return to your tabletop. Now check back in the tabletop. The hands are like they would be in a downward dog, so the fingers are wide. And it's as if the very center of the palm is doing this sort of little push-up, like a spider would be doing a push-up. So the center of the hand is drawing away from the mat, almost as if you're palming a basketball. We'll take the extension on the left side this time. Left leg floats off the mat behind. We take a little movement, toes point down, toes point away. See if you can square your hips and your shoulders. And we'll end together with the toes pointing downward, keeping the hips nice and square. The right arm floats in front. Belly's working for you here. The pelvic floor lifts in and up. Might feel like it's hard to make that happen. But just imagine that you're on a long car ride and you needed to use the restroom, but you didn't have the opportunity to. On an exhale, the knee and the elbow come together, or the knee and the nose if you chose not to reach the arm. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hand and knee to the mat. A little movement or another shape that the body guides you to, feel free to take that here. But notice how we're really utilizing the earth, gravity, this sort of wonderful extra that helps us stay a little more grounded, a lot more grounded than if we didn't have it, right? And we find the tabletop once more. Left foot steps up behind the left wrist. So the tricep and the inner knee are connected. Right foot steps up behind the right wrist and you're in a little crouch. Belly is on your thighs, knees are bent a lot. Draw the belly in, drop your head, and intertwine the fingers behind the head and drop the elbows. Nod the head up and down. Shake the head left and right. Huge breath in and out. Hands released toward the mat. And part of the beauty of the root chakra, which is Muladhara, is finding the beauty in the earth. So here we're going to go ahead and start to sway left and right, taking your time, using your breath and feeling the texture of your mat or your floor or the towel, whatever's underneath you. Just noticing. Let the head hang a lot, as if the center of the earth is calling your head to it. We'll pause for some stillness, a lot of bend in the knees still. And start to rise up, unravel like a slinky, as if a slinky could go up the stairs. We'll meet in a mountain pose, stacking the shoulders over the hips and the hands drop by the sides, palms face forward. And we'll notice here what the body is doing. Are we taking the opportunity to harness the support and abundance of Earth's energy, to draw ourselves tall, to ground ourselves in the now, to allow ourselves to be stable, solid, almost like a tree. On an inhale, the arms sweep wide and high overhead. Exhale, find a forward fold, bend at your knees. Hands can come through your heart. Inhale for a halfway lift, hands to the shins. Long, 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 long spine. Draw the shoulders to the hips. Exhale, release and fold. Bent knees help protect the low back. Root to rise, pressing the floor away. Shoulders stack over hips. Arms float high once more. This time, the right fingertips take a hold of the left wrist. Give it a little tug. Ooh, we get a little taller. Exhale, long belly tilt over to the right. Little more energy into the outer edge of the left foot. Inhale, rise up, hands release, fingers might twinkle toward the sky. Exhale, find cactus arms once again. Breathe in, broaden the collarbones and the shoulder blades. Breathe out, hands drop behind you. Maybe they intertwine, or maybe you're just placing the hands onto your lower back. We let the collarbones start to grin, thinking about maybe all of the beauty that is outdoors today. Even if the sky is dark, the cloud cover deep, even if there is rain, we know for sure that the sun is still there. It's just obscured. The mind can do the same thing. And a sense of calm or sturdiness or groundedness can often be obscured, but it's there. Heel toe the feet in just a little bit. Bend the knees once more in a modified chair pose. Lift up onto the balls of the feet. Draw the belly in. Imagine the thighs could spin toward each other. Staying on the balls of the feet in this balance, sink down a little bit more. Breathe in. Exhale, heels to the mat, forward fold. Knees can stay bent. Hands might float away from the spine. Once again, we nod the head and shake the head. This time, open and close the jaw. I can't but help do that because I'm talking. Exhale, release the hands to the mat. Press the floor away. Rise back to standing one more time in this moment as the arms reach high overhead. This time, left fingertips take a hold of the right wrist for a little tug. An extension, breath in. Exhale, a tilt over to the left. Heart is aiming for the sky, and we tilt. And inhale, both arms reach high overhead. We return to a forward fold. Hands draw to the shins, halfway lift. Long, long, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. The left foot glides way to the back of the mat. Take your time. Now, if your right knee is shooting forward of your toes, you're going to go ahead and lengthen your stance a bit more. If you need something under your hands, blocks or toilet rolls or whatever it might be, take that and find a little balance by moving the right foot out to the right. So you really want the right knee stacked over the right ankle and parallel to the right hip. Keeping this beautiful length in the back leg, left fingertips come down, inhale the right arm high for a twist. And maybe the right arm doesn't go super high. So perhaps you bring the heel of the hand toward your low back and allow for length in the spine, breath in, exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale, right hand drops to the mat and the left knee follows it. Toes untuck. And we find our way into our half split with the left hip coming over the left knee. You might need to scooch the right foot forward. It doesn't have to come super far, especially if you have tight hamstrings. You might keep a little bend or a big bend in that knee. We reach the shoulders toward the hips, the belly in and up, long, long, long spine. And maybe there's space to fold, but if the spine wants to dish round, this is not the place for that. The place for the spine here is long, and we work into that right hip crease, maybe by shifting forward and backward, beginning to notice where the hamstrings are inserted, up toward the glutes and down into the knee. Without over challenging, without ignoring safety. The sole of the right foot plants to the mat. We're going to shift forward so the hands come inside the right knee and heel toe the right foot out to the right a little bit. And point the toes out to the right. I recognize maybe you can't quite see my toes. There we go. We're going to take the right hand, place it inside the right knee, and press it away from us for a little twist. Not too far. We're watching out for the spine, anyone with low back issues especially. Now you might also notice an opening along the psoas, the hip flexor on the left side. The right hand comes back inside the right foot. Point the right toes forward, tuck your back toes under, extend your back knee off the mat. So you're reaching the kneecap of the left leg toward the left thigh. You might find a little bit more opening here. And again, shifting forward and backward can feel really yummy. Just watch what the low back is doing. Now we're going to extend the front leg as much as you can. Walk to the long edge of the mat, spinning both sets of toes in. Then work, you might need to adjust the feet so the toes are even from the side of the mat. Breathe in a halfway lift, long spine, belly in. Shoulders toward the hips, exhale, fold over your legs. A wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. In this posture, imagine that you're pushing the floor away with the whole of each foot so that the sitting bones lift toward the sky. If you're not using your belly, work it in as if the belly button was trying to touch the spine. Drop your head. Come back to your fingertips. Heel toe the feet in so they're just wider than your hips. And then bring the heels in, the toes out, hands to your hips so you're sort of squatted down. And draw the forearms to the thighs and the hands intertwine. Here we are going to actually rest the forearms on the thighs. So if you need a less wide stance, a narrower stance, make that happen. And we take some cat-cow shapes here. And I guess I'm gearing up for Halloween here, working all of the things that are autumnal. I mean, a cow's not necessarily autumnal, but bring the hands to the hips once more and rise up, pressing the legs nice and long. Shoulders over the hips, hands drop by the sides, palms face forward. We find our nice long legs, or we imagine they're long, and the arms sweep up, 5-pointed star. So strong, so bright. Allow the fingers to intertwine in front of you. The palms face your heart. We're going to take a breath in. Bring the hands to the heart. Breath out. Breath in, extend the spine. Breath out, twist over to the right. Here, be very careful you're not jigging the hips so that one is in front of the other. Breathe in, long spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Right arm reaches behind, twist a little deeper. You might feel this in the left thigh and hip. Breathe in, left arm reaches wide. Inhale, draw forward. Palms press together. We take our little crossbow, elbows bend outward, and the heels of the hands come toward the heart. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears, breath in. Press them behind you and down, breath out. Are you gripping the mat with your toes? See if you can wiggle them around. Fingers intertwine, palms come to the heart. Breathe in. Exhale, twist to the left. Another round of breath. And a twist. Inhale. Left arm floats behind. Inhale. Right arm floats in front. Inhale, both arms forward. Hands come to your hips. Spin on your front heel and onto the ball of your back foot to step the back foot up to meet the front. Mine wasn't so successful. Little space between the feet. We'll find our way into a chair pose with the hands at the heart. Feet are parallel to the outer edges of the mat. Now imagine that you're sending the sitting bones behind the heels. Your belly's got to work here to help tuck the tailbone and the collarbones open just a tiny bit more. Thighs like they could spin toward each other, but the knees don't have to touch. If the toes are not touching, the knees should not touch. Big, huge breath in, only to fold over the legs on a breath out. Breathe in for a halfway lift, long flat spine. Exhale, hands plant on the ground so the right foot can glide to the back of the mat, runner's lunge. Seems like forever since we did this on the other side. We're heel toe the left foot out to the left, and then check in that the right knee is over the ankle and coming straight out of the left knee over the left ankle and coming straight out of the left hip. We reach that back heel nice and long, right hand down, left arm high, or in my case, because the shoulder doesn't quite do it, I keep the hand to the heart. Breathe in, lengthen the spine. Exhale for a twist to the left. 2 more rounds of breath. Another long breath in. We connect the left hand back to the earth. Breath out. The right knee follows, dropping down for our half split. Right sitting bone moves toward the right heel, and the left leg moves out in front. Maybe fully extended, maybe not. Nice long spine. Maybe work movement into the toes and the ball of the foot with breath. Starting to explore the power of the hamstring and the front of the left ankle. Inhale, left foot to the mat. Both hands come into the left foot, inside the left foot. We heel toe the foot out to the left. Point the toes to the left. Left hand draws inside the knee to press it away. A little twist over the left shoulder, or a lot of twists, depending on what your body asks for or denies. And that's actually a good point to raise, that sometimes the body says, hang on. And oftentimes it's not just the body, it's the ego. Finding that right effort between my body won't do it, my mind says I shouldn't do it, and going all out so that injury takes place. Somewhere between those two. That's what you want to explore. Inhale. Exhale, left hand to the mat. Point the left toes forward. Tuck your back toes under. Lift the back knee off the mat. A little bit of a wider stance and finding a little rocking forward and backward, which for me in this moment feels really delicious. You're going to drop the back knee to the mat, untuck the toes, and however you need to swing the left leg around to meet the right. We're going to come to sitting on our heels once more. Taking stock, maybe placing the palms up or down on the thighs, and noticing where things are and how they feel. Any place where you might still be retaining emotion or tension or any places of discomfort, let the breath sort of seep into those spots and give them a little kindness, a little gentle love, a little nudge. That, yep, I recognize you, shoulder. I recognize you, shoulder pain. I observe you, and I allow you to soften. And come back onto your hands. Find your way to a seat. In our final 10 minutes, working into a few more seated postures before we come all the way down to the mat. We're going to start with the soles of the feet together in a nice big diamond inside the legs. Bring the hands behind you so the fingers face the body. Not funny to say the fingers face. The tips of the fingers are pointing toward the body. And then see what the shoulders can do. Can they relax from the ears? Can the heart lift a little? Can you tuck your tailbone? In order for the tailbone, the pelvic floor lifts up for your pelvic lock, your mula bandha, and about 3 fingers width right below your navel presses toward the spine and clicks up a couple notches. So that, let's just say, I don't actually know where your spine aligns with, if it's an L vertebra or not, but let's pretend it's like F4. You want to move it up 2 from there. Maybe the hands walk a little closer toward each other. Come to your fingertips. Lift the front body. Let the shoulder blades start to connect to each other like they're cogs. Lift, 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 lift. Just finding the gentlest of back bends, not dumping into the lower back. And walk the hands toward the knees. Gather the belly in and up. Sweep the arms around so that the hands can come inside the feet. Wrists underneath the ankles. And the palms or the fingertips to the front of the ankles or the top of the feet. We use the elbows to shift the heart forward. Draw the belly in a little bit so you're starting to round the spine. Then really round into starfish with this amazing quality of a heavy head. You find that with all of the handheld electronic devices, it's very easy to let the head drop, but we're kind of hanging on to it when we're doing that. And often we're turtling, we're shifting the chin forward instead of actually just dropping the chin. So it causes a lot of strain on the back of the neck. This helps to open it up. On an inhale, rise up to your seat. We'll extend left leg onto the mat. Draw the sole of the right foot to the inseam on your thigh. If you're wearing pants. If you're wearing shorts, you might not have an inseam on your thigh. Lift up nice and tall. Heart aims for the left shin. Maybe a bend in your left knee. Exhale, hands walk forward. And just like we did in our other posture, we're the half split. We're working for a long spine here. So if you can't find a long spine, and it's really natural for things to curve over the body, you might find a little prop under your knee can be really helpful. And pause for a few breaths, not worrying about how close you get to the leg. Inhale, rise up to your seat. We're going to work our way into a Baddha Konasana. The shoulders are up over the hips. This time, same shape as starfish, but the heels are closer to the sitting bones. And for some of us, this might be plenty. You can see one of my knees is pretty far away from the earth. I'm going to go ahead and take my thumbs inside the arches of the feet, peel the feet open like a book, and sit up nice and tall. For some, it's a very natural spot to reach a long spine over the feet first, and then round once you've reached your edge. Now the right leg extends onto the mat. So the left foot inside the right thigh. We sit up super tall. Right toes point to the sky or the torso. Heart lifts, belly in and up. Exhale. Reach toward your right leg. If you happen to reach the foot, which is not requisite, you're going to work the pinky edge of the foot toward the right shoulder. Inhale, rise back to your seat. This time, the soles of both feet come to the mat. Hands come behind you once again, but we bring the feet as wide as the mat and let the knees knock together. You might need to reach the hands farther behind you so that you're not scrunching your shoulders up toward your ears. We're going to rock the legs super slowly and gently left to right. So only go as far as it feels okay for your low back and your hips. And if you have wonky knees or a pin or something like that going on in your knees, just be careful about how things could torque. We're just finding a little bit of a twist, a little bit more of an adductor stretch. And we'll pause, find our way all the way down to the mat. And taking a deeper twist. So the heels come toward the sitting bones. We press the sitting bones and the low spine off the mat and shift them over to the right. The knees drop over to the left. Gaze might move over the right shoulder, and the right hand can flop outward. Huge breath in through the nose and out the mouth. Another full round of breath. Very kindly, we return the spine fully to the mat. Soles of the feet onto the mat. We shift the hips over to the left to let the knees drop off to the right. For the twist on this side, left hand faces up. Gaze, if it feels all right and is accessible, moves over to the left. Big, huge, full breath in. And it releases out the mouth. Sigh. Once again, spine returns to the mat. We allow it to become as straight as it normally would, top to bottom, by shifting the hips around. And hug the knees in toward the heart, either simply finding a little rock left and right here, moving into a happy baby, or allowing the legs to reach up the virtual wall with perhaps the hands underneath your sacrum. If you're in legs up the wall, the legs are super heavy, dropping into the hip bones, hip sockets. One final cleansing breath, full deep breath in. It releases out the mouth. Soles of the feet return to the mat. You make your way into your final resting posture, which might mean feet wide, knees bent, knees touching. Maybe you're seated, or maybe your body is long on the mat. Shoulder blades toward the hips, space between the feet, and the hands drop out by your sides. Eyes are gently closed, the eyelids like rose petals resting on your eyes, which sink into their sockets. Give it one more full round of breath, and then let the breath deepen. Encourage movement to return like the body is reawakening, refreshed for your day. Eventually, the knees can bend so you can roll onto one side. And take a moment to return to that which was your intention or motivation. And reconsider the Bu Mudra, the mudra of grounding, which connects us to our bodies, to the earth, to the material world. It reminds us of the support and abundance that the earth shares with us. Press your way back up to a seat where we'll close our practice as we begin it with the chant of Om. I'm going to switch the cross of my legs again. Hands find their home together at your heart. And as they press and recognize the energy of each other, so too do the heart and the thumb knuckles press their energy toward one another. We'll take a nice full breath in to follow it with Om. Thumb knuckles connect just between your eyebrows. May you recognize the power of our Mother Earth, the support that it provides, and the abundance around you. Namaste. As always, a treasure to practice with you, whether you're watching this live or recorded. It's great to share yoga with you. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of your day or evening, weekend or week, depending when you're seeing it. Please share and like and tell other people. And if you have the funds, donate. And if not, do not. Thank you so much. Karen McPhillips coming to you from Salt and Sand Studios in Vermont. Yoga Intermissions. Try this at home. Have a great one.